Welcome to Cancer and Peace Moments. This is Peter. These moments are 15-minute clips of the larger episodes. Blessings.
Yeah, I think something that I'll recognize in myself is sometimes I'm feeling the emotion, but I'm not um, identifying that I'm feeling it, if that makes sense. In other words,
Mm-hmm.
I can feel the
Sure.
tension, I can feel the but
Mm-hmm.
then I'm responding to the emotion, not responding to the signal of the emotion. And I think that's where I'd like to divide a little bit is that emotion does mean something. That feeling of overwhelmness does mean something. It's my whole person crying out for something. And it's not to be able to snap at people. It's, hey, there's something inside of me that in a sense is being stepped on or violated in this moment or there that is, I mean, the feeling of overwhelmedness is something signaling something real, a real need, I think. Does that resonate with you, I guess, in that
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like the way you started out because you said, hey, your body is storing an understanding of December means high high demand for your time
Mm.
and high expectations for your time.
Yes, great. And some of those expectations are from me for sure. But yes, even before I intellectualized it, I knew what was going on. My body was tensing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a similar something in that space, and that is we would do summer camps here
Mm.
every year, and summer camp meant that we were going to have a 2.5 month really intense period of time where we were going to bring in 50 to 100 staff, and we would train the staff for 2 weeks, and then we would go 24/7 for 8 weeks,
Mm.
and that 24/7 for 8 weeks was 24/7 of intense something. And usually by week 4, the all um the fun, we're throwing the ball around, playing volleyball in the field, or just the excitement had gone away, and it was, oh, I can see everybody's character defects, and I got 4 more weeks of putting up with certain people here who's rubbing me raw a little bit. And what that did is that every time we would roll up on a summer, after the first 2 or 3, I felt it coming.
Mm.
So I would think that what you're talking about is I could feel it coming. It was like the pressure of this is going to be 2 months, or 2.5 months of just solid, you know 24/7, just interacting with people, trying to make sure the wheels don't fall off, everything comes together, that we do great program, we hire all the staff, we, like, there's so much that goes into
Mm-hmm.
a short term, something where you're running solid like that. And when I say 24/7, when you have people sleeping over, you have to have coverage for
Mm.
all that. You have to have, it's not that I was working 24/7, we're running a 24/7 operation.
Mm.
The kids are going to go home on one day, and they're going to come back the next, and we're going to keep going. And what happened was is my body started storing the traumatic expectations that were coming of the stress that I was going to feel. And as knew I was going to feel that stress, then overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed every time we were moving towards summer for the same reasons that you're talking about, that your body is saying, hey, we're at December, and it expects that there's trauma coming of some type, traumatic, that's making you feel overwhelmed. It's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to feel those emotions, to let them bubble up, and to express them, of course, not let them rule over you. But I think one of the things that came up, and I've been asked this several times before, is, how do you get through the journey? And my response was always to have patience, besides acceptance and those. In fact, patience really is enveloped within acceptance, but it's this almost like settling in, saying, okay, I my reality is that I'm going to have to do cancer stuff during the month of December. And yet I'm still expected to be at a holiday function, or, I'm going to celebrate whatever holiday you celebrate. But for me, Christmas and New Year's with my family. And yet I have to do serious health, things.
Mm-hmm.
So can I accept that, and can I be patient, and can I sort of walk through these medical tests or surgeries, whatever I have going on, infusions, um, even though there's demands whirling around me, can I experience peace and patience as I do the cancer stuff? I think because the cancer stuff represents a whole nother layer of life. It's this
Can I
time of the years.
propose
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
can I propose that as a step
Yeah,
2? Because I
yeah.
like that. What you
Okay.
said is
Yeah,
that's
go.
good. No, I think that's really good. But you said step 1 in one sense, and that is, you can't heal what hasn't been revealed.
Mhm,
And so as you start to recognize, as you hear, we always do in recovery, we say, hey, and what you heard, what did you relate to and why? And
mhm,
so if you related to something that either Peter or I said here about your own, coming into times of where high stress and what your body starts feeling this something that's overwhelmed, it's like first, it's something's been revealed to you. And
mhm,
I think that starting point is um, feeling it and then identifying what it is you're feeling. So it's one thing to feel it and then just let it, your natural coping mechanisms go out. But if you feel and then identify why you're feeling, this becomes a really healthy first part of this journey, I think,
mhm,
in this space. And then you said something that's really good, and that's this why I'm calling it step 2 is patience means I'm going to give time to this.
mhm. Yeah,
I'm going to give space for this.
yes.
And for me, I think my buddy who I was sharing my last 2 or 3 days story with, he was like, "So when you talked about having multiple meetings in a row, have you changed how you do things?" And my answer was no. And so that means every time I go through this, when I get to meeting number 3, I'm not going to be fully present,
Mhm,
and I'm going to be working out of a frustrated self as opposed to a really present. Caring, empathetic self, I'm going to be more likely an angry, frustrated self, which isn't going to be really productive for the people that I'm meeting with, likely. And and I thought that's the point. So this idea of patience. So what I'm interpreting from what you're saying, and I was thinking about as he was questioning me, I was like, yeah, I got to make a change here,
mhm,
and the change is I need to take time and not allow myself to be scheduled back to back to back without
mhm,
having time to decompress, process, and it's different for because most of the meetings that I lead, because I lead an organization, about 90% of those meetings I lead,
mhm,
and so that means I'm feeling the pressure of driving the agenda and making sure that we're staying on track and moving forward. So it's not something I can just sit back and and
mhm,
let the conversation just digest. I'm having to think about where are we going with this meeting? Where is it?
mhm.
Are we getting to accomplish the purposes of it? And so there's a lot of I'm taking on a lot of stress,
Right.
relational stress of trying to drive something. And my point to that is only that that means I have to actually have time to stop and not feel that stress and pressure, and to rest my nervous system and my body and to decompress. And so the next
Mhm.
step is what you said is patience in that. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and
Yeah.
perhaps, one of the other points is what can I take off my plate? In line with that, one of our gals in the Christian support group, she has 2 sons in their 20s. She's a single woman, and, she's in a tough cancer space right now, getting treatment and had to have a brain scan and that kind of thing, metastatic cancer. But she is a mom, and she wanted the perfect Christmas
Mm,
kind of thing, but she's struggling. And her sons, I think she had a conversation with her 2 sons in their 20s, and they came to her and said, "All we want is you."
yeah.
So they're more than willing and want to pitch in, be helpful, they can do the cooking, whatever, you know what I mean? But what was really important to them was having their mom there.
I was gonna say that's brings up. I can remember my last Christmas with my mom before she passed from cancer,
Yeah.
and it wasn't the things that we did or perfection; it was presence that
Yeah.
made all the difference. So presence is such a big thing, and that's probably the big message on the backside of this is thinking about how to be present. And whenever you're not able to be present in the moment, there's probably something else motivating you.
Mhm.
And that's why overwhelmness is such a interesting thing to explore in ourselves is it's the things that are competing with our ability to be present one with another. And I think we weren't designed to live in a world where we're trying to do 1,000 things and manage 1,000 things in our heads. We were designed to have a slower relational presence in the way we live our lives. And yes, I think modern society has tried to change that in such a way where we can do everything and
Right.
manage all of that, but it robs our peace when we embrace that as a lifestyle.
Right. Right.
And so our goal is to just encourage you that, hey, we go through feeling overwhelmed, both Peter and I, and you felt it in your journey and you've felt it as you come into this December, that feeling. And it was awesome that you were willing to just say to Jack and I, as we were sitting, as like, this is what I feel going into this season. You're able to identify the why, and you know that the greatest gift that you can give isn't a perfect gift. It's not a great meal. It's your presence.
Right.
And the only way you can be present is to let go of so
Mm.
much and just trust and make good decisions and choose only what God's best is for your life. And there's great peace in that.
Mm.
Not necessarily easy, but there's great peace in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you the final word on this podcast.
The final word.
The final word. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we all experience being overwhelmed, and I have many times in my cancer journey. And I really appreciate what you talked about with making choices. And for me, it's about carving out that self-care space and to make sure that I get that. And even in the midst of a busy lifestyle and cancer journey, there are ways to still take care of myself and to do, for me, self-care is silence and solitude, walking, uh, contemplative Bible reading, hanging out with life-giving people, gratitude journal.
Mm.
These are the things that I love that bring me joy and peace. So uh, it's my choice. It's my issue. And I can choose to do what you said and just know presence is more important than presence. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Blessings.